I'm Angela Nichols. I'm one of the partners of Elevation Corporate Health, and I'm going to be talking to you today about gratitude. More importantly, I'm a yoga instructor. I'm a health coach, a wellness coach. I'm the creator of the Mason Jar Project, what we'll talk about a little bit later. I have a bachelor's degree in exercise physiology. I also have a master's in sport and rec management, and I've been practicing fitness, wellness, and gratitude for my career for the past 20 plus years. So I'm excited to share with you just things I've learned over these past decades, as well as just things that I practice in my life. And quite honestly, gratitude is very simple. And so hopefully you'll learn some things today, but just finding gratitude and recognizing gratitude and knowing that gratitude can be in our life can really help us to just kind of, spread love and spread some peace and harmony throughout the world. So I'm going to start by asking you a question and just ask you, what are a few words that describe gratitude for you? How do you see gratitude in your life, or how would you describe it? Positive, yeah, finding the positive. So those are the things we're going to talk about today. Definitely helping others. I love the fact that everybody sees joy and all of these different reasons for gratitude. And so I just wanted to start with, what is gratitude? Yes, small appreciation, thankfulness. It's taking and receiving, but also giving and noticing what's happening around us, right? So when you practice gratitude, you acknowledge basically the goodness in your life. And so let's start by talking about some of the just benefits of gratitude in general. We've already talked that feeling more positive when we find gratitude, maybe we brighten someone else's day by giving gratitude. Physical things that can happen, we can sleep better, we can reduce our aggression and maybe increase or decrease our stress levels. Maybe we build better relationships because of how we're interacting with individuals. But beyond just emotions and positive change and reducing your stress, you can see physical changes happening in your body. And we'll look at that a little bit closer in our next slides. But your heart rate, your blood pressure, both of those things can come down. But you can also increase your self-esteem and your confidence. So again, gratitude is very simple. We're going to learn how to share gratitude with each other, but it has so many great benefits, not only for your physical body, but when we give gratitude to others, if you see someone else smile, that's going to change your mood, but things are also happening in their brain. Things are also happening in their body. So they're getting the benefits when you share your happiness with them. So in short, basically gratitude just is a simple act of kindness that you can give to yourself or you can give to someone else that gives physical changes in our body as well as emotional changes in our body. So in order to practice gratitude, we do have to be kind to ourselves in order to do that. I'm gonna ask, I don't know if any of you guys have watched the One Hot Minute that went out on our social media. So I'll give a little plug to our social media. And if you aren't following Elevation Corporate Health, you should be following Elevation Corporate Health. It does give us gives you some really great tips. And yesterday, One Hot Minute went out and it's all about starting gratitude in the morning. Starting gratitude in the morning is the very best way to start your day. So before I get up every morning, I at least take a deep breath while I'm laying in bed and just kind of let everything go for the day. But on top of that, if we maybe have a big presentation like I have today, or if you have something that you really want to focus on, maybe take a second just to take a deep breath and give yourself the ability to say, yeah, this is how I want this presentation to go today. But every single day before I get out of bed, and I'm going to give you this tip if you don't already know it, a great way to start gratitude in the morning is for you to take one foot and put it on the floor, and then take your next foot. And when you put your first foot on the floor, say thank. And when you put your second foot on the floor, say you. And you just kind of say thank you to the universe for giving you that day before you get out of bed. And it's an amazing way to start your day. It allows you to just overall see gratitude before you even get out of bed. Also, gratitude in challenge. And I put a couple kind of examples on here, but I know a lot of people talk about having a challenge of getting their kids out of bed in the morning, and sometimes it's dreadful to have to wake up your kids to get them to school or you to work or things along those lines. And to give an example of how to find gratitude in a challenge, if you're waking up your kids in the morning and it's something hard for you and them every morning, maybe just think to yourself that you have the ability that, or they are seeing your face the first thing that they see when you wake up in the morning. So you can give them gratitude by just giving them a smile instead of grabbing them out of bed and saying, come on, we got to get going. So, kind of changing the way that you do your routines and trying to find just all gratitude in some everyday life things. Another example I came up with was one time I was driving into work. I'm not sure who's driving into work right now, but I'm sitting in my home office. But, I was heading into work one day and I was stuck on I-25, if you're familiar with that, if you're in Colorado, and the traffic was just stopped. And the guy in front of me took out these huge cue cards and started flashing them to all of the neighbors around me. And eventually he flashed one back to me and it just said smile. And so I smiled, and then he was like, wave to your neighbor. So I waved to the neighbor. And it was just kind of this really fun interactive thing that he did while we were stopped in traffic. And I thought to myself, wow, what a great way for you to practice gratitude yourself, but also to get other people to relax around you, so that you're not in this rage to get to work. So just small things like that. And for me to smile and wave to my neighbor, I'm sure brighten their day. So I know it's tough when you're in those challenging moments, but if you can step back and find a way to find gratitude and in just your environment and what's going on around you, then it can change everything for you and those around you. We want to define mindfulness, being present. Mindfulness 100% is being present. And I can tell you that most of us don't live in the present when we're just in our daily lives. We're thinking about the next thing or something that happened in the past. But if you can practice mindfulness and practice being present, then gratitude comes way easier. So just take a second to recognize your environment, maybe recognize yourself. And we're going to kind of ground ourselves and do a little breathing technique here in a second. But I think if you can master the practice of mindfulness, gratitude will become easier. So I wrote down journaling. We're going to talk about this in a few, but writing things down is really a great practice for most. And then just using your breath, just breathing. And we know this, but we tend to forget it. So we're going to practice that now if you guys are up for it. So taking action, so just ways to become more mindful or more present is activity just in general. So we're in the fitness and wellness industry. Our business is fitness and wellness, but to get active, to get out, to go on a hike or just, step up the stairs or hop on a bike, things along those lines, just keeping your body active is a great way for you to kind of feel your body and become mindful. Quiet time, which is really tough for us all to find these days. But if you can find quiet time, maybe either in meditation or in yoga, if these are any practices that you follow, I'm going to give you my contact information at the end of this. If you need or want any apps on yoga or meditation or how to get started, there's some really great apps for yoga for 10 minutes every morning or 5-minute meditation. So I'd be happy to share those with you. And then we start to find our quiet time when we practice meditation, yoga, and activity. So I am going to ask you to, and I see some other people have already taken some deep breaths and maybe come into themselves a little bit during this presentation. But if you're okay to go on a journey with me, I'm going to ask you just to breathe and we're going to do it together. So and have you just uncross your legs or whatever you're doing, place your feet on the ground. And I just want you to place your hands on your thighs, however's comfortable. And just ground your sit bones a little bit, sit tall in your chair and notice where your shoulders are at. Let them drop down, let them go. Good. And then just take your chin level to the ground and then close your eyes and just kind of feel your body. just take a notice. And then I just want you to take a deep breath in. Just inhale and exhale. And I don't care if it's in or out through your nose, but just kind of let it go. And maybe just take a couple deep breaths here. And then take a breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And then just kind of internalize your breath so that you're inhaling through your nose and exhaling out through your nose. So just taking it down a notch here. Allow yourself to be here and present and relax. And I just want you to focus your attention down to your feet. Maybe wiggle your toes a little bit, let them relax, relax the arches, relax your heels and ankles, let your feet just completely relax. And then relax your shins and your calves. Relax your knees. Don't feel like you have to squeeze those knees together. Just let them fall. Relax your thighs. And feel your sit bones on your chair. And then inhale up through your spine. And as you exhale, allow your shoulders to drop down and away from your ears. And relax your chin, relax your jaw, unpierce your lips. Notice your cheekbones. Relax your ears. Relax your eyebrows. And then finally your scalp. And then just focus your attention on your breath and feel present in your body. And then I want you to take a nice deep breath in here, fill your lungs and your diaphragm, and exhale, let it go. And then maybe wiggle your toes and your fingers, and then gently roll your shoulders. And then flicker your eyes open. All right. Hopefully you see that quiet time, me time, yoga, meditation, activity, breathing can kind of just find you in your space. And you can easily take yourself there with the breath, just one breath. But how you situate yourself in your chair, and I'd love for you to notice if you've already crossed your legs. That means you're kind of anxious and ready to move on. If you're still seated, relaxed, then your breathing kind of brought you into yourself. And then one more thing to notice is, I don't know if you remember, but did you place your hands down on your thighs, or did you place your hands up on your thighs? And typically when you relax, our hands go down because this is our time to ground ourselves and kind of pull ourselves in. But if you ever find yourself with your palms up, and this is a practice in yoga sometimes, but your palms up is giving and your palms down is receiving and pulling in. So if you need to ground yourself, palms go down. If you want to give and give your energy out, then palms go up. So just a couple fun tips for you to kind of take yourself into that space so that we can, use our breath, right? We typically use our breath just to live, but if we don't pull it in and find ourselves and let us ground, then we can't find gratitude, we can't find mindfulness, and we can't give, right? So we're still working. So we're going to go through acts of kindness here. And I'd love for you to kind of throw out some acts of kindness maybe that you've done over the past week. We have a challenge going on at work that is leveling up our love, and that is us giving to others. So I put a couple of examples on here of some of the acts of kindness that happened in our company over the past week. But I want to talk about just the fact of acting and giving kindness to other people, how it changes your brain specifically. And all of these great chemicals are released in our brains, and it feels good for us, right? It's endorphins. It feels really great. But then it also allows someone else to feel that way. So some of the acts of kindnesses are coming in now, which is great. Yes, calling a friend, just checking in on friends, making sure everything's okay. I put in here pulling in garbage cans of your neighbors, or making cookies or food for a friend or colleague or something. But I also, yes, I love pay it forward. We're going to talk about that too. But I also put on here a URL, and I will be honest with you, this is something that I just found last week. I have not participated in it, but I wanted to share it here because there's a doctor, Dr. Michelle Robin, who created this site, and she has all of these different ways to find gratitude and try to make gratitude a habit, right? Thank you every morning becomes gratitude every single day. So she has these 21 days projects that are in her store. And from what I can see, everything's free in that store, but she has this 21 days to kindness. And I thought I'd put it in here if anybody's interested to try this free way of, getting people to, or trying to find gratitude every single day. It says that it'll give you a reminder once a day to make that act of kindness, or to find kindness for yourself. So if you want something to try to create a habit, this might be a great way. I'm not sure, but I wanted to share, right? So I love all of the acts of kindness coming up here, and this kind of leads us into the fact that if you're finding gratitude for you, then it equals gratitude for others. And so there's just so many great things that people are putting up here that you should read in the comments as well. But I do want to focus on, so I have pay it forward in here, pay a compliment. We're going to talk about that one here in a second. Volunteer somewhere. If you have a passion for animals, or you have a passion for the environment, then find something you're passionate in and volunteer once a month. It really brings joy and gratitude to you and others. Also, it just kind of feel like we just went through that breathing pattern, right? We just kind of came into ourselves. But if you recognize someone else's energy is off, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to give a compliment. If you love a random stranger's sweater, tell them. You know how that feels when somebody's like, wow, I really love your hair. It makes you feel good. So recognize yourself, recognize others, give them a high five, or right now, give them a little elbow bump or a smile instead. But all of those things go a very long way. But one note I want to make on this slide here is just the compliment. So it's easy to pay compliments to others, but I really want you to notice compliments to yourself. So I'm going to go on a soapbox just for a second, but in our industry, we hear all the time, I just need to lose 10 pounds, or I just wish that my thighs weren't so big, or I just need this, or I just need that. And finding gratitude can change all of that. So I want you, next time you look in the mirror and you say to yourself, oh, my thighs are so big, I want you to come up with one reason that your big thighs, that may not even be big to someone else, but your big thighs to you is a benefit. Maybe they allowed you to run a 5K. Maybe they allow you to be able to keep up with your kids, right? I hear all the time, oh, I need to get rid of my wrinkles on my face. And I always, when I look in the mirror, I say, wow, I must smile a lot, or I must laugh a lot, because I have lines where I smile and I laugh, right? So I know it's much harder than, you know, changing that habit right away. But I want you to promise yourself, if you find yourself looking in the mirror or judging someone else, if you find yourself saying, I wish this or I wish that about my body, I want you to give yourself a compliment on that exact part of your body that you just were upset about. So think about that. And if you go away with anything else, nothing else, I should say, that's the one thing I want you to take home with you today. So there's some things going on the chat I can't keep up with, but I'm hopeful that it sounds like you guys are all interacting with each other. So I'm glad to see that. So lastly, I just want to talk about writing things down. Yes. So I will be honest, I'm not a journaler. I'm just not, but there's so many benefits of it. And I do think that there's so many great benefits that I need to share it with you. But I will say this, I do write down my goals and I do write down things that mean most to me. And I love to check off lists and I create my list every single day. So journaling does not mean that you have to have a journal and you sit down and you answer a question, which I have some journal questions on the right if you're interested. But anytime you're writing anything down, and it could be a post-it note that reminds you of something, or I printed off this yoga gal from social media that says, keep peace in your mind, strength in your body, and love in your heart. And I have it just sticking on my office up here. And all of those types of things that you do is journaling. It doesn't mean you have to sit down and write, but anything that you have that relieves your stress, allows you to record ideas. If you have a notebook that you just jot things down, or if you send a note to a friend, a physical handwritten note saying hi or thank you, those are all ways to journal. And journaling gives us all of these great benefits. So it's the same, right? It relieves your stress. It gives you confidence. It inspires your creativity. It boosts your memory. So take a couple minutes, even if it's that thank you note or just a note to your friend. That's a great way to journal. And I love this quote at the bottom. I found this on social media. Gotta love it. But if you have time to feel like crap, complain, and check your social media, then you have time to meditate, write in your journal, create a list of goals, make a list of things you are grateful for, and better yourself. So maybe think about the time that you spend on social media and maybe, or anything that you're complaining about or whatnot, and taking that time to write something, even a compliment to yourself, or to find gratitude on paper every single day. So I am going to just share with you, and I am 100% not trying to sell you anything, but I did tell you at the beginning that I am I'm the founder of the Mason Jar Project. And one of these projects is called Finding Mindfulness. And I know some of you on the call probably have done it because a lot of companies that we already work with have done Finding Mindfulness as a incentive to their employees. But what it is this beautiful little jar that you see on here. It's a 5-week wellness program in a jar, and it allows you the opportunity to find mindfulness or gratitude every single day. So what happens when you sign up for the project is you get this jar with these cards, and then each day you're given an educational piece, kind of what we discussed today, like why would I want to give gratitude, or why does breathing work? And then it's going to ask you to take action. It's going to ask you to give a friend a compliment, or pay it forward today, or something along those lines. It's going to give you an extra credit, which might be a journal entry or something along those lines. And then it gives you a journal prompt. So this is a daily email for 5 weeks, Monday through Friday. And each day you find gratitude and place it in that jar. And at the end of the 5 weeks, you pour out all of your gratitude, hopefully it has helped you create a journey of gratitude. It allows you to create just gratitude in yourself every single day, right? It's creating a habit for you, and it allows you to kind of see your journey over 5 weeks. So I did put it on here. If you're interested in it, you can go to elevationcorporatehealth.com/store, and you can use the coupon code ElevateU, and it'll give you $10 off the project. So it'll make it $14.95 for you. But the reason for that cost is because we send the jar directly to your house so that you can get started right away. One thing that I want to leave you with is an actual journal prompt, which I put in your other slides as well. But the journal prompt is at the top, and also my contact information. So if anybody ever has any questions about anything around yoga, meditation, gratitude, mindfulness, anything, it's part of my life. And so I'm excited to share. I thank you so much for being here, for going through a journey of breathing and mindfulness and finding your own self today, and hopeful that you can say thank you every single morning you put your feet on the ground, and that you can find gratitude in yours and everyone else's life around.